booties for black girl nerds.
Hi.
Hello, Susan. How are you this fine afternoon over there?
Afternoon here. Yeah, all good. Really, really well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. Happy to talk to you. I enjoyed you. You're so funny and so cute and clever. I
Oh,
love I loved Helen in this. We need a Helen in our life sometime.
we do.
Someone who doesn't want to be all in the mix like that and just wants to create content and leave sort of a low key type of life.
Yeah, yeah.
How would you describe Helen? What type of a personality is she? Is she a little neurotic? How would you describe her?
Oh, yeah. I'd say that she's massively neurotic. Massively. I'd say Helen is somebody who is, oh, she's just so scared. She's so fearful. She's somebody who, before she can manage to get to the door, she will think of all the things that could go wrong. And then that will just be enough for her to just stay indoors. She's very close with her brother. They haven't always been that close. But that's her only friend, really, when we meet her. Yeah, and she has, this YouTube channel where she plays with makeup in terms of cosplay and like really cool effects. And she's clearly really talented and has, quite a good following. But that's all she can kind of give over when we meet her. Yeah, and then she strikes up this friendship with Richard and starts seeing somebody who can really appreciate her, but also he sees her vulnerability, I think, and that is one of the things that I love about Helen is that she is she's a loud character, but she's a subtle human being and she is vulnerable, and I loved that. I loved that didn't go either.
I love that too, her connection with Richard, because they were so accustomed to being isolated in their own ways. Richard not necessarily by choice because he's elderly and
Mm.
he can't just be out and about like he, at his advanced age. And then Helen has her own issues that are keeping her confined, and through that they forged this really sweet and refreshing friendship.
Yeah.
Along with that, you have the other characters who are ghost hunters or they film these types of things. What is the fascination, do you think, that human beings in general have with trying to find the undead, with trying to find the dead? They're gone. But
Yeah.
we love to find them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're of the mind, and I'm definitely of the mind, which is just, you just don't know. And sometimes some people are really good at going, we don't know what happens after we die, so we just live, which is great. But I'm definitely the kind of person who, you want to know where people go, you want to know where you're going to go. And the idea of dismissing any of the explanations that we have, be it religion, spirituality, reincarnation, like, to dismiss that, I feel like is so not wrong, but why would you? Because you don't know. And I think that that's why, shows like Truth Seekers appeal to so many people, because it's about finding the answers to all the unanswerable stuff. Yeah, and that's why I think that you can have 12 different huge sci-fi shows going on at the same time, because everybody's conclusion is different. Everybody's kind of reasoning is different, everyone's world is different. So yeah, there's just so many different answers, and that's why I think it's popular.
Yeah, and with no signs of losing its popularity anytime soon. So I like how Truth Seekers kind of poke some fun at it.
Yes.
And we're used to all the more popular shows that we see on television. So it's fun to see this kind of alternative point of view of people who like to do that for a living. And it'd be fun and it'd be a little lighter than
Yeah.
that topic would have you believe. Helen in particular was really cool to me because that's not a character you typically see Black women into, like someone who's into cosplay and has that type of withdrawn personality. Usually, as Black women on screen, we have to be over the top and we have to have all this personality, and we're sometimes not allowed to have all these nuanced aspects of her personality. As an actress, how does this role fit in with some roles that you've done before? And what were the best parts of playing a character like this?
Ah, yeah, great question. I feel like well, in regards to being in a show that is a genre show, so a supernatural show, my only real experience of that was doing a show called Crazy Head, which was 6 years ago. And before then, I didn't really have that much of a relationship to genre shows. I liked, I mean, I completely missed the boat with Buffy. I was too busy watching Dawson's Creek, like all of that. And then the experience of playing that role was, it blew my mind, because here was my character at the center of this whole storyline about the end of the world, and the stakes were so high. I had all this stuff to like do, beating demons and all of that, and I was hooked on the experience as an actor, that I didn't have to worry about things being rooted in reality and, you know, my race or my gender. I was just like, this is the mission that we need to do. We need to find this person and find this thing, find this clue. And ever since then, the last 4 years, I've been trying to find a project that could give me that opportunity. So when this came along, I was so over the moon, because it married all those aspects. But in terms of Helen, you know, there's such a vulnerability to her. And I am all about playing women, Black women, who are vulnerable, who are not necessarily the loudest people in the room, who are not necessarily the first person who you're going to kind of land your eyes on, because that's the case with the most of us. There's so many of us. I went to Nigeria to do a film, and one of the things that struck me was how much I look like everyone. Like, I'm like everybody. And so, of course, you know, you have these characters that save the day that are superheroes, but it's so beautiful to have a person who is subtle, who is fragile, who is vulnerable, and they are also worthy of a TV show.
Mhm. That, you know, that's fascinating that you said that when you travel to Nigeria, you know,
Yeah.
everyone looks like you know, when you live in the States, and I imagine it's like that in England too. It's such a hodgepodge of, you know, lots of different type of, like a salad, you know, there's
Yeah.
lots of different aspects to society. As an actress, how did that shape you wanting to be an actress, given that there's so many that look like you? How did that stoke that fire in you to want to pursue that?
Yeah, it's so weird, because I feel like my reason for wanting to be an actor is not the stereotypical reason, which is, I want to stand out, I want to be heard, I want to be, I'm so sorry for that noise, I want to, you know, to be the center of the attention. My reasoning was, I wanted, a bit like with Helen actually, and her joining Gus and Richard, and Elton, was I wanted to find a gang. I wanted to find like a group. I wanted to find a troupe. I started off in theatre, and so that's all about, you know, the ensemble and doing stuff with youth theatre, and like that was my jam. And so that's what I wanted to go into acting, to find a crew. And so the big transition for me is stepping into playing leading roles, and, you know, characters that take more of a center stage. That has been the challenge, actually, going, oh my god, I'm seen, I'm being heard. Why? And then going, why was that a problem? Why do I find that weird? I don't have to transform into something I'm not in order to be worthy of leading a story. But yeah, no, definitely the reason why I started acting was to be part of the gang.
Mhm. I like the sounds that are in the background. It's kind of on brand with the
I'm
show.
so sorry. I think I'm filming something at the moment. I think that they're moving like the tables. I think they're moving like the tables or something
But
like
it
that.
sounds perfect though, because it's perfect when people get ready to watch the show. Because from my perspective, I can see the True Seekers logo behind you. But with the
Yeah.
sounds, it sounds like the guys are going to come through in the background. Like, what is that?
What is
Do
that?
you
Should I
film
should I
this?
go and tell
Record
them to
this?
be quiet?
No,
Are
of
you sure? Do
course
you
not.
like it?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, good.
I had a chance to the chance to watch the series. I've watched the whole thing through the end, so it's paining me not to ask you some very specific plot points, but I don't want to spoil it for the viewers who have yet to see it. It's going to premiere on the 30th. What were some of your favorite things to shoot with the other cast members?
I think that the coolest thing was definitely the coolest thing that I can say was definitely once we were all in the van together. So when it was me, Emma, Samson, Malcolm, and Nick, all of us in the van, it just felt like Scooby-Doo, felt like a gang. And I loved that. And obviously we're in the van for a lot longer than you think, all day, going in and out and in and out. And I loved that. I really, really enjoyed those days.
That's really kind of like you said, it's kind of cathartic. You said you sought this out because you wanted a band. And then here you are, you end up in a series where it's literally that. Are you a big fan of manifestation and speaking things into existence and into the universe and your desires and all of those things?
Massively. Just because it's worked. It's really worked. I think that one of the things that I am getting better at is going, look, this is what I would love to happen. I've got no idea how that's going to happen. I don't have any idea when that's going to happen, but I'd love it to happen. And then it does. I feel like I've definitely, in terms of being an actor and the people that I've surrounded myself by, I definitely feel like I've made my family the thing that I was searching for, I think.
I love that. That's so highly inspirational. And I mean, just for people in general, but even more specifically, young girls and boys who are in Nigeria who think, maybe my parents won't be into this profession. They'd rather me do something else. But then here's this beautiful woman, this role model who manifested this whole direction for her life, for herself. Okay, maybe this is attainable for me. Do you have younger siblings, or do you have young ladies that you talk to who might be interested in it?
Yeah, I have quite a few. I'd mentor. So when I was a teenager, I was part of a company called the National Youth Theatre of Great Britain. So we would do, it was kind of like a summer camp for theatre. So we would do shows every summer. And I have done mentoring with young actresses there. And at my old drama school, at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, I've mentored third year students there. And, whenever people have DM'd me about advice, I try and give as much advice as I can. And I think that that's really important. I think in terms of the youth of Nigeria, especially in the light of everything, they are following their own path and their own truth in a way that not even my generation has, or, in regards to looking at things and going, we don't want that anymore. That's not how we're going to live. So I feel like I've got less and less to teach, because I'm just so amazed at what young people are learning. But in regards to my career path, my parents weren't thrilled, to put it lightly, but it wasn't because they didn't think it was good or a viable career path. They were worried. They were worried about, how can we let our daughter go off into this world that we don't know anything about? We can't coach her, we can't look after her, we don't get it. We turn on the TV, we don't see anyone like her. How does she think that she's going to earn a living? And I just went, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got this. And sometimes I really didn't have it. I just had to make them not worry. I realized, it's not about trying to clip my wings. It's they're worried. So I have to make sure that they're not worried. And, my mum is not worried. By the time my dad passed away, he was not worried.
And see, now, Susan, now your mom is probably calling on all her friends. Hey, my daughter is on Amazon. You better turn on to Amazon and watch my daughter.
My mom is like, have you seen him? It's just with the Simon Frost. I'm like, it's not that one. It's Simon Pegg. But cool. Like, all right. Oh yeah, she's so proud. She's so proud. It's cool. So anyone who's kind of facing any of that from anyone, be it your parents, be it your friends, just believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Like the people that will, they'll believe it when it's ready.
Mm-hmm. With your crew, you know, one final question with the gents and the young lady, your other castmates, you have these adventures that cross your life, and they take you in different directions. And throughout the course of the series, it seems like it's something very simple. And as we build to the finale, we see something bigger is at play. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about the series that won't spoil it, but as exciting as possible, or, you know, however you want to describe it, but without any spoilers? How would you describe the show and its arc?
Okay. I would describe the show and its arc as a show about people who are just trying to find answers to their grief, their pain, their trauma. And they do it. They find those answers through friendship, through humor, through weirdness, batshit craziness. And they find those answers together. That's how I would describe the arc of the show.
Well done. Fair play. What do you guys say? Fair play. Fair play. That is awesome. Susan, you are just so lovely and so brilliant, and I enjoyed you so much, and it was refreshing to see such a layered, interesting character that was so different from any type of character I've seen before. So I appreciate you greatly, and thank you so much for your time.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.